Hello, it's your boy Pastor Herbs back again with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys about how playing other fighting games can help you be good at your main fighting game. Now, playing other fighting games, like say I'm a Tekken player and I play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or a Capcom versus game, right? Fighting game player playing other fighting games translates to an athlete who's a football player, an American football player, playing other sports to help them become a better American football player. For example, if the football player wants to become, better at, let's say, like hurdling, as a defender comes down the field, they could play basketball and learn how to dunk, virtually making their vertical jump a whole lot better. And this will translate to when they're actually running on the field, giving them a better jump when they want to take a hurdle. Also, this thing applies to speed, strength when it comes to powerlifting. Like, those athletes who play other sports always have the end goal in mind, which is to become an overall better athlete. And you have to take the same approach when you think about your fighting games. Now, whether it's 2D or 3D, when it comes to defense, offense, or execution on some level, all of these three things always apply to any fighting game, no matter what it is. Say, for example, when it comes to Street Fighter for Tekken. I know we don't have Street Fighter right here, and this is obviously Tekken, but the thing that I want to, translate to you guys is that Street Fighter has what is called a stun meter. It's a meter that's at the top. When they take damage, the stun meter comes up, and when it's all the way full, that character is paralyzed. So when you're on the end of it, you have to respect that. When you are the person giving the stun to your opponent, you get to hound them and you get to put pressure on them. This is an aspect that Also, meter as well. You have to be smart about how you manage your meter. So you're not gonna just throw out your meter on a move willy-nilly knowing it's not gonna work. You're gonna try to preserve your meter as best as you can. And I know that was more of a defensive aspect, but the main thing I want to show you is, so we'll get out of that. I want to explain to you something when it comes to simple thing as rage. This is more of an offensive perspective. So in an offensive perspective, the moves that I'm doing, 20 damage off of this move, right? The way it translates in Tekken is rage. Rage is that comeback factor that super meter would be in a game like Street Fighter. This move does 22 damage now. All of the moves that I'm gonna do when I'm in rage have a rage boost added to them. So not only do you have rage boost, you also have rage drives, and you also have rage arts. Now, I'm Miguel, right? The pressure that I'm gonna put on my opponent when they know I'm in rage is huge. It's huge. It's huge. They can't deny it. And they have to make sure that they, on the defensive end, are respecting fundamentally what I have to bring to them. Because if they press buttons willy-nilly, I can easily do a counter hit launch on them. I can do whatever I want. If I launch them while I'm in rage state, I can get all this extra damage. And at the end of it, I get a rage art combo. So all these things are important because you want to make sure that every little thing you're doing, when you actually try to be better at a fighting game, you make sure that you remember all the lessons. It's all the little intricacies and lessons. The next little intricacy I want to show you is the execution part of it. So with execution, this part that I'm going to do with Akuma is a fireball, right? Fireball. Quarter circle forward punch. Quarter circle forward punch. It's so simple, right? But a lot of people can't do this, and this translates to every fighting game, no matter what it is. It's literally in here in Tekken because we have 2D characters in a 3D environment that do projectiles, and this is in Smash because they have Ryu and Ken in there now, and this is in all versus games. Marvel vs. Capcom, Capcom vs. SNK, Mortal Kombat. All of these fighting games have quarter circle forward in them. And the little thing about executing this is that it's so simple to execute and it's so easy to understand once you get it. But if you don't get it, you won't be able to do it in any game. But this one little aspect and knowing how to defend against it is really, really important. Say, for example, if he does this, right? Okay, let's reset. If he does this in a 3D environment, what am I gonna do? I can sidestep this. These little things, these little things are important, because if I even block this, if I block this, you see how Miguel's health bar is moving? Miguel's health bar is moving because he's taking damage. He's taking unnecessary damage that he does not need to take. If you don't have to take the damage, this is all a part of the bigger picture when it comes to fighting games. If you can avoid it, because you don't want to waste time. You don't want to waste meter. You don't want to waste health. You have to use all of your resources wisely in any fighting game. If this was Smash, I would jump over the fireball. If this was Street Fighter, I would jump over the fireball. Since this is Tekken, I'm just avoiding the fireball completely, so I don't even have to deal with it. And again, that's all I really wanted to say. When I started out like getting more serious about fighting games, it started with Street Fighter V, and the main things I learned from Street Fighter V was always, you know, put as much pressure on your opponent as you can. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Basically, if it's working on your opponent, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just keep doing it until they find a way to stop you from doing it. And have respect and play fundamentally smart. Use your resources wisely. If you have all your rage right here and you feel like your opponent is gonna block, don't just do your rage art randomly. Don't just do your super randomly. Don't waste your meter randomly. Don't do something scrubby. Don't play scrubby, you know, play it safe as you can, play it safe, make good decisions, make smart choices. That's how you wanna look at fighting games. And once you learn that in one fighting game, it'll translate to all fighting games. And it really does help, you know, learning how to do other things, learning other characters, learning all these little aspects really helps out a lot in terms of becoming better. But you have to take something serious. Like if you take Street Fighter serious for like a year and then you move on to Tekken, you'll instantly already know how to apply it to the next game. Or if you take Smash seriously, or it doesn't even, I won't even say a year because it can be shorter than that. If you just take one fighting game seriously, you can see how, okay, oh, another thing with execution, combos. Combos are really important. And I say this because you don't want to drop combos in a key situation where you need to land the combo. When you need to land the combo and you need to win the game and you're at a tournament and it's Evo or wherever, you need to land this and you don't need to drop it. That's where execution comes in. I personally like to practice 10 times on each side with my combos to make sure that I always land them. This is just so that if I'm ever in a situation, whether it's a promo, when I'm at the local, or whether I'm at a big tournament, I don't drop these things because I've practiced it so many times, and I take that to all of my fighting games. No matter what it is, if it's Smash, I'm doing the air combos as much as I can to make sure I land it on each point. If it's Street Fighter, I'm doing this over and over again on the corner, in the middle of the screen. Practicing good footsies in your neutral game is another big thing. You want to make sure that you have all of these different things. But again, like I said, if you ever feel like fatigued or something, you can take a break from one fighting game, move on to the next. Just don't be hopping around. Don't hop around. And you'll know if you're hopping around if you're not getting good at any of the games. If you're getting a little bit good in one of the games, it's not considered hopping around. But if you're not getting good at anything, that's how you know you're hopping around. That's how you know. But again, that's all the time I got for you guys right now. Thank you guys again for watching. Go ahead and call it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like the video if you liked it. Leave your boy a subscription. We're trying to push out more videos every day. Thank y'all again. I'm out of here. Peace.